How many records will get broken this week?
I think several will be broken from the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes region, and especially, like we talked about earlier, the interior Northeast, where the hottest air may go over this upper level high pressure area in the mid Atlantic states. So, places in New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and even parts of northern Connecticut could break several records here coming up. I can't even account for how many there'll be. And it may not just be one day, we're talking maybe 2 or 3 days of records that could take place in parts of the Northeast. We don't normally see this size of an upper level high pressure area in June. It generally comes in July or early August, but this early in the season, those records are vulnerable right now.
Now, the records are one thing. Let's talk about the human effect. Which populations of people are most vulnerable to the heat and having their health affected by this high level of heat?
Well, again, the elderly, and I always say this in every interview I do, and because of the fact that I do have older people that live around me where I live at the present time, I will check on them. I will go on twice a day, maybe sometimes 3 times a day. Just walk over to the house and make sure that they're okay. Make sure it feels good in their house. It's not really, really hot and intense. Check on the elderly because those are the most vulnerable for this situation. Make sure if your kids are in sports like mine, they're drinking water more than usual in this situation. They won't realize when they're practicing and playing that they're not getting enough water. Make sure they're always getting water checks. And the middle people, those are the really hard working class outside. Your construction workers, your people that are working out constantly, give them a little bit more breaks. Check on them as well because they're going to need it in this situation, especially when we went through a cool spring, a wet spring in the Northeast, and now we're turning it around to this really hot, intense. There was no smooth transition. It just go right into this heat, and that for your body is tough for anybody.
It is tough. And when we go through heat waves, typically, are there fatalities? And if so, on average, how many fatalities do we see?
I don't know the actual number, but I know there's several, especially in the big cities. That's where you have the toughest rate that goes up because of the fact that poor air conditioning, poor cooling, especially some of the suburb areas of the cities as well. If things are not working, people are not prepared in these situations, it can get really bad. And it could happen at night, especially when the nights don't cool off. You can have significant problems. So I think that the big cities areas is where you get most of the fatalities that take place. The others could be indirectly related, basically from stroke or heart attack related issues caused by the heat. I think that we will have to be prepared. I mean, as much as we talk about it on the air, as much as we say it, people have responsibilities. I understand. They have to go out in this. They have to go and do it. We can't stop them from doing it. But we can just let them know, and then maybe they can take an extra fan with them. Maybe they can drink an extra bottle of water. That's all we can do for those people, and I understand the situation.